We'll have to try that again, shall we? I think we've got problems with our reception. Wireless wasn't behaving itself, clearly. Can you let me know if you're on, guys? I'm sorry about that. So, I'm going to go ahead and answer some questions. So, Danielle, you messaged me about... hello, Kirsty Bob. About party boxes and crafting, and as I understood it, you've got several different things that you wanted to do and you weren't sure whether you were stuck to one or you stuck to many. I think the answer to that is, you, as I was saying before, you need to understand who your audience are. You need to understand what it is you're trying to achieve. So, for example, have you set yourself out a business plan? Have you set yourself out an objective of what it is that you want to achieve, and when do you want to achieve it by? Have you looked at whether or not there is a market for what it is you're trying to do? So what I mean by that is, have you done your research? Have you looked around? Have you tried to understand, are other people making a success of what it is that you're wanting to do? You need to look at, time versus materials and so on. But when it comes to what do you start with your strongest product. Your strongest product is the one that you're most familiar with and the one that you feel you are most able to give to your market. And then you can also then market other things after that once you've established your base. If you tend to go out to an audience and you try to be everything to everybody, you almost water down your proposition. So it's about holding your nerve, really, and you agree that initial product with yourself. You research that initial product. And this is a thought for everybody, don't ask friends and family what they think. They're either going to tell you the best or the worst, and they're not going to buy your product anyway. So as much as I'm sure they love you very much, they're not the people to give you the best opinion. So you need to speak to people who are going to be your potential audience, whether you're going to do them a poll on Facebook, whether you are going to literally offer to go into a group like this and find out. People are kind. They're not going to be disparaging about you. They're going to give you some honest feedback. But you absolutely, it's a bit like the whole Simon Cowell analogy. Who told you could sing? When it's your mum, it's probably because of being nice. So you need to go out to people and you need to research and you need to make those people your potential audience. So what often happens in these scenarios is people come up with brilliant products because they would buy them. Well, as great as that is, you can't sell to yourself. Well, maybe you can. Maybe you're brilliant. But you're not going to be able to make a living out of it. So you need to go to the audience that you believe has got your spend in their pocket and ask them if they're going to buy your product, what they would pay for it and why they would pay for it. And you use that for your marketing. So before you even get to how many different products should I be offering, you need to get to, is the product that I'm offering even saleable to the market that I want to offer it to? And in doing that, do Facebook, do Twitter, and ask people and, offer your services free, get testimonials, get the feedback. And that would be my starting point that I would suggest to you. But equally, have a plan in the first place. Don't follow a dream for ages because it feels good. Follow it because it earns you some money, especially if you're in it to earn money, that is. So, hope that kind of helped you. Alex gave me a question, which is around how do you hold your nerve when you're starting a business? I think she used the word wobble, bless her. And that no one believes in it, whether or not it'll be a full or a part-time replacement of income. Alex, the answer to that is, if you genuinely believe in it, if you've done your research and your work, then you absolutely should continue with it. Don't ever give up a job that pays you a good amount of money, that covers your sick pay, that does all those things for you on the basis that you think you're going to make £1 million overnight. You're not. We don't. That's the simple answer. There's many times when I see stuff on the internet, which is, you can make a £500,000 business in a month. Show me who's done that and I'll be, there's probably only 2 categories of people that do that. I'm not doing anything legally. So, should you pursue it? Absolutely. Should you have done that with some rigour and some research and expertise? Definitely. Should you write yourself some goals and objectives? Should you stay up till 12 o'clock at night doing it? Absolutely you should do. But you'll have people in your life that are either risk adverse, in fact you'll mainly have people in your life that are risk adverse, And when you talk to them about your idea, they'll have your best interests at heart. And sometimes those best interests at heart are not to take the risk because they're frightened for you. And whilst they think they're doing you a favour, they're probably going to clip your wings slightly. So ask the people that don't know. Ask the people about the idea. Hello, Zoe. Ask people that would be your potential market. The same thing I've said to Danielle. But don't wobble. Don't expect to make any money in the first 6 months, 12 months, even 18 months, depending on what your business model is. But plan for that. Plan for it and organise yourself accordingly. Hello, Carissa. Obviously, thank you. This one does work. That's because I've gone from a Surface Pro to an iPad. Not a good advert for Microsoft, but will not get done for disparaging comments. Hello, Lucy. She's back. So, Alex, I would suggest that you prove them wrong. Everyone who knows me knows that's all I ever say. Go and prove them wrong, but don't kill yourself doing it. So my advice would be, in summary, that you hold your nerve, but you check you've got a business plan, you check your forecast, what your revenue should be, you check yourself against that all of the time, and you make sure that you are researching, asking for feedback, and ensuring that you are given a product that somebody absolutely wants. If after 6 and 12 months there's not been a bite of interest, free or paid, then I suggest you have to look back at your business model again. So I hope that was helpful. Michelle Gallagher talked about Facebook Live and overcoming fears. Michelle, I think you do pretty well on your videos themselves. Danielle, I think you did miss it actually, but it is on there, it's recorded, so you will get your answer shortly when you watch it back. Michelle, Facebook Live, overcoming your fear. The answer is there is no way of overcoming your fear other than you have a go at it. You prep yourself correctly, you make sure that you've done all of your notes of things that may be asked. I'd very much hope that you work in a community of other women that don't want to trip you up. And you can't be too polished and you can't be too professional. It's more endearing to not be, actually. People buy from the individual. They don't buy because you've got all the right answers all of the time and you're perfectly prepped for everything. Even though prep is incredibly important, you can't prep for the nth degree. You'll never go live in the first place. So you make sure that you've got an idea in your head of what you want to talk about. You put some post-it notes out if you need to. You have a bullet point, not a script, bullet points that you can refer back to. And you do what I never do and keep an eye on the proper part of the camera, because I look above, I look around, and I look everywhere else. But if your subject is engaging and you've researched it and you've asked people for their engagement, then you'll do a good live video. And if your first one's not good, if it's crap, you do another one. Simple as that. And if it's really, really bad, just delete it off Facebook and no one even bloody knows it was there. So it's not a problem. Just try it. The way that social media goes now and the way that all engagements go now, media is the way that everyone's going to do it, and the more video media will be the case. So it's one of those ones where it's a necessary evil. You're going to have to get onto it eventually. So, Lucy asked me about product focus. Emma Jane, I'm really curious as to what people find so scary about doing a live. They are nerve-wracking, but that puts people off. They are nerve-wracking, but what puts people off? They're going to have to answer you, Jane. I don't know. I think probably the idea that I'm sat in like a shadow talking to myself as far, if anyone walked in now, they think I was slightly bonkers. And I probably think, I think it maybe is the idea that no one turns up to watch it. Or that you can see the little icon in the corner that tells you that 10 people are watching it and suddenly there's 5 and you realise what it was you said wrong. Maybe that's it. But if you don't know and you don't have a go, you'll never know. Lucy talked about product versus customer focus and which one should she be doing. My answer is going to be a bit blunt here. It's the customer that buys the product. It's the worry of my mind going blank. Oh, Jesus, that mine happens all the time. I won't worry about that. That's because I'm 43 years old. And look, if you really want to see it, there you go. That's the way that you... Well, not that way. Maybe that way. Stop your mind going blank. Yes, product versus customer focus. The answer to that, Lucy, is that you lean to the purchase of the driver, the business driver. There'll be a compelling event as to why somebody wants your product. They may not know what that compelling event is. You might have to give it to them. That compelling event might be quality, that compelling event might be comfort, it might be convenience, it might be because everybody else has got one, they want one. But it's the compelling event that makes the difference. So if you know what that compelling event is, or you've polled them or you've understood it, then you follow that compelling event. You do more of the same thing. So an example of that, I don't know, might be, why does anyone go and buy a new car? Why does anyone go and make a serious purchase? Why, in the case of products that are for children, in this instance, is that quality? Is it comfort? Is it your expertise? Does somebody need to know everything you need to know that you've gone through to get that product into the market? Probably not. Do you want to put it somewhere where they can go and find out and make reference to it? Absolutely. But it's not going to necessarily sell it. Selling it will be telling them why they want it. And quality is part of that, but the desire and the compelling event as to why they purchased it is more important. So if you're asking that question, it probably suggests you're not quite sure, in all cases, why they're purchasing it. And that would be, for me, anyone who had purchased that product and they've purchased your product, I'd do a follow-up email to that person to say, thank you very much for your order. We're just really intrigued to know what it was that made you choose us. We're very grateful that you've chosen us as the provider or the product provider. We'd like to know what that was, and can you tell us what that is? And you do that a few times and you'll start to get a common theme, and then you follow that theme, you follow that compelling event. So I hope that made sense. There was a few things, I think, probably in terms of Facebook, social media. There is so much I could go on about social media that I could go on forever. And without wanting to sound like a sales pitch, I do several different courses. You're welcome, Lucy. I do several different courses on social media. I can give you some hints and tips now, of course I can. But I would suggest that you check the website, which is theconsultcentre.com, because on there are a list of courses. Some of them are free, actually, and some of them are very low cost. They go into real detail about social media. But Tony, I think it was Tony, and forgive me if it's not, but Tony did a post to me about effective use of it and actually not ended up surfing all over Facebook. Effective use of social media for business is completely different. All right, Kerry. Kerry's from the aquatic body, by the way, who I've just been for my training session with. So if I look slightly out of breath, I'm going to blame it on Kerry, because she made me walk for 4.5 miles, wherever it was. But she's a very good coach, by the way, girls. You should look her up. Tony, you asked me about effective use of social media. The first effective use of social media is it's not for your personal use. There are so many times that I see people who post on Facebook in their business pages as though they are posting on a personal Facebook. Sorry. Nobody gives a shit about your political ideals. I'm sorry, I've sworn again. No one really cares whether or not someone cut you up in the traffic that morning. No one really cares about stuff like that. And your business profile is always linked to your personal profile. So it's natural logic in a world of nosy people, which is what Facebook's business is, that they go and have a look at both. And it's really important that the first thing that you do is you treat it like a business. If it was your shop window, would you go and show your arse in it? Excuse my language. But if it was, you wouldn't, would you? So don't keep doing it on Facebook personal profiles. No one cares if you don't like Theresa May. No one cares if you'd like Jeremy Corbyn, or vice versa. What they care is, are you well equipped with a load of skills, with something that they want to give you their money for? And the other part of that actually is, if you're a massive Theresa May fan and suddenly you start putting all over there about how Jeremy Corbyn's an arsehole, you'd be very surprised that people might, on that basis of their ethics or of their political persuasion, just take you off the consumer list. They won't buy from you. So you don't put things like that on. Well, you might put things on about the fact you've had a really good day today, or you might take a random picture of somebody, or you might do what I do and take pictures in secret of things that I find really amusing. But you don't offend anybody. You come across as being personable, but not offensive. And what you post on your personal profile is not what you post on your business profile. You can still put loads of pictures if you can on the basis that you are a photographer, Kirsty Bob. I think probably take a picture of your cat's all right, kid. As beautiful as she is. So you've got to look at what's your message for that day. You know, don't overpost. Don't put stuff on that isn't spelt correctly. Bane of my life, even I do it sometimes. I don't care if you edit it 15 times, but just bloody check it is the main thing. Or get a really good friend like I have, with my best friend Wendy, who instantly, the minute I put something on, says, you've spelt that wrong or you haven't checked it. So, and then look at, okay, what is my strategy for this week? Because Facebook is not a daily activity. It is personally, it's not as a profile, as a business. You've got to, you stop doing pictures of cats, you lot, you're putting me off now. What you've got to look at is, this week I want to broadcast about X, and you do bits of teaser messaging, you do, some might be text, some may be photos, some might be lifestyle type photographs, some might be a video. The idea that you think you can put a load of statuses on and people read them, it doesn't work anymore. The way in which our engagement works nowadays is that we need to feel included and interactive. And that's why Facebook's a brilliant medium for that. But, you know, it's not just Facebook, it's Twitter, you know, it's Instagram. They're 30-second videos, no more than that. They're very strict over there. Twitter, you've got LinkedIn, you know, you've got 100 different platforms. And the first thing you should be doing is linking them all together, which I know sounds a lot easier than it probably is, but it's pretty straightforward once you get used to it. And you need to be really careful. You need to know when your audience is online. So look at your posts, go into them, look at the insights in the back and work out when people were looking at them and when they were most successful. Look at when your audience is online and post at those times. If you're not available, schedule the posts. That works too. But plan them. You know, this is a shop window. It's absolutely your virtual shop window, and you should have a mindset which is the same. Instagram is quite an effective marketing platform. It is a, how can I best put it? It's a lifestyle aspirational platform, is what it is. So people go onto Instagram to either remind themselves of what they've not got, or what they might want, or how thin they might want to be, or how athletic they might want to look. So you've got to be careful what you post. If you really want to get an audience, it's more of a shout-out platform. It's a lifestyle platform. So, for example, you might be a barber, you might be a hairdresser. If you think by going on there and doing 1,000 pictures of the back of somebody's head saying what a good cut I've done today, don't be surprised when your audience falls off a cliff, because it's boring, it's not engaging. Taking a picture of your feet at the end of the day saying I've had a really busy day today, feet are on fire, or taking a picture of Morecambe Bay and saying I'm having a day out because I've been really busy. It's a lifestyle aspirational platform. It's what people want to look at to feel that they have some kind of affinity with you. And once they have an affinity with you, they want to see what you've got to say, and then they start and include themselves in your journey. As corporate wanky as that sounds, but it is true. So what you put on Instagram isn't what you put on Twitter, and it isn't what you put on LinkedIn. You can do some combined stuff, but you can also look at a proper platform that allows you to be able to do individual shots. The other thing about Instagram is it's keywords and it's hashtagging everything. You don't think anyone wants to see your feet? Well, I don't know, your elbow, whatever it might be, Chrissa, but you're not a hairdresser, are you? So it doesn't really matter. So, yeah, it's really, I could go on for ages about it. It is really important that you plan it. Like I say, the best analogy I can give you is it is not your personal profile to give everybody your opinion. It is your shop window. So unless you want to go and put a big picture of Jeremy Corbyn in his sandals in your shop window, or Theresa May, to use that analogy, don't do it on Facebook. That's you telling off for the day. I've been asked lots of questions around planning. How am I successful? How do I know what I want? I'm going to give you kind of a couple of tips on this, but focus is the main thing. What is the best platform for educating people on your product? Depends what your product might be, really. I think from your point of view, because obviously I know a little bit about your product, Lucy, it's You've got a mix. I would suggest you definitely are an Instagram and a Facebook business, definitely. You would do more lifestyle associated stuff, more ethical parts. But you absolutely need to look at Instagram as a lifestyle, aspirational, look at what you could have won kind of platform. Facebook is very much the same thing, but with lots of practicality and logic around it. So it's you normally direct people backwards and forwards between the two. So Facebook people, they will go on to understand it, engage, ask, whereas on Instagram, and you'll know this if you're on it, they go on to comment. They don't expect a response. They want you they just want to comment and let you know that they've been there, and they want to like it because it's just a feed. It's a feed of information or a feed of photographs, whereas on Facebook, it's an engagement platform. So you need to be asking engaging questions. You need to be putting engaging statuses. You need to be putting engaging video on. On Instagram, I would argue that actually what you really want to do is put aspirational content about your brand, and people will start and follow it, especially if it's lifestyle orientated. Any other questions on stuff like that, or I'm going to move on a little bit? Somebody asked me about how do they focus and not end up looking around Facebook all day. This is about valuing yourself and your time, I think. We do a free course. Now I'm thinking of doing a cartoon, a photo of Jeremy Corbyn and Eric Morecambe on the virtual shop window. Please tag me in it when you do that, Madeline. I'd be really impressed at having a look at that. We do some free courses on value, and if you go on the website, you'll be able to book onto them. One of them is already sold out. I think the other one's got a few spaces left on it. It's a 3-hour course. It's about realising your value. And a lot of what I'm about to say to you now all comes down to the same thing. You're welcome, Lucy. Realising your value is the first thing you have to do before you understand why you're wasting your time. And that might sound a little bit confusing. What I mean by that is, if you give yourself a value, if you say my hourly rate is X, and when you come on the course, we show you how you work out what that rate is. And we also show you how you get over the embarrassment of asking for money, embarrassment of chasing it, the ability to say no and not care, without being rude, obviously, and valuing it, and not reducing your prices because no one's interested. We don't do that. We hold our nerve, and there's lots of other things I can talk to you about that too when you're on the course. But when it comes back to being on your own and keeping yourself motivated, anybody on here write a to-do list? Madeline, you clearly do. What's on my to-do list? Don't do a to-do list. To-do lists don't mean they're going to get you anywhere. They're just a set of self-absorbed things that you write down on a piece of paper. I'm going to insult you all now. That you write down on a piece of paper that you can tick off. But do any of those things get you all the time? Hello, Barbara. You have to look at whether or not they let you achieve. So what I would mean by that is slightly change your mindset. So when you get up in the morning, you look at what you want to achieve that day. So you write your achievement and you work on what that achievement is. Don't worry, Madeline, I forgive you. You write out what it is you're wanting to achieve, and then the things you put underneath are what will help you achieve that. Because you could have the longest and the best to-do list in the bloody world. It doesn't mean you get shit done. It just means you tick stuff off. I don't know if there's anyone on here that's ever done it where they don't do the stuff that's on the to-do list, but they've done a few other things, so they write those on the bottom of the to-do list at the end of the day just so they can cross them off again. What bloody use is that? You haven't got where you needed to be, and you've not done what you needed to do because you've thought about a list of actions rather than an objective. So even if you start tomorrow slightly differently with an objective that you want to achieve, and then you write down those actions, if there's anything more than 5, something might be going horribly wrong for you. So because you're going to set yourself up to fail. So an objective and an achievement, and then the things that are going to help you do that, and the timescales you're going to give yourself. So absolutely, but you do agree. Yeah, you do. You get beat yourself up when you don't do them, and yet they were never going to be any bloody use to what it was you were trying to achieve in the first place. And that's why a lot of people find they've had a really busy day, but a completely unproductive one, because you're focused on the wrong things. Not wrong in terms of they might still need doing, but they haven't got you to where your goal needed to be. So it's really important that you know what it is you want to achieve for that day, that week, and you break it down, and you're self-disciplined. And ticking off stuff on the to-do list or adding them on the bottom doesn't really get you where you need to be. I would also be a bit of an advocate about planning everything. So I look at my day. See, Tina, chasing your tail. But if you said that day that you had an objective and then you were going to come to it as and when you were ready, that's fine. Time-sensitive jobs do come first, but if you've planned it, you will get there because you've already made time for that. You plan in the fact that something will come in and curveball left of field and you don't know necessarily that it was going to be there. You've planned for that. You planned yourself a little bit of reward time. I don't know whether anyone uses one of these. See, look, I'm back to front now. So, stopwatch. So when some of my private clients say to me that they don't get stuff done and that they find themselves fanning around on Facebook all day, I give them one of these. And I say, that's fine. So if you valued your hour at, I don't know, you value yourself at 50 quid an hour, and then you want to go and take a number of minutes, so you want to go and take half an hour to go and fanny around on Facebook, take 25 quid and chuck it on the nearest fire, bin or out the window, because that's what you've just lost yourself in terms of productivity. And once you start doing this, try and count up to 25 a minute at a time, it gets really, really irritating to think you're now going to go and waste all that time on Facebook. Might be good if it's your business, Facebook, but let's all be honest, we all get a status that pops up and we wander off and go and do something else somewhere else. Yes, Cheryl, and I'd imagine that you do a lot of that. So, if you can't discipline yourself, get a really irritating stopwatch. And if you've got kids, they'll like to set it off for you. But it does actually work. Really, really simple, but it works. If you can't value your time, you won't value your product, you won't value your productivity, and your client or customer potentially won't do that either. So realising your value is really, really important. And if you, like I say, have a look on our website and we've got some courses on realising your value. So are there any other bits and pieces anyone would like to ask me? I've gone through some stuff from Deb's. Deb's talked about engagement. Take you back to the same points I've just talked about, Deb's, in terms of video content, planning your delivery, looking at it like it's a shop window. Some of the things about engagement there are around don't discount, plan correctly. You need to ensure that you have planned out your week, planned your approach, looked at groups that have got an affinity with yours, offered to speak at them, gone to see them, and talked about your event. You should be going live on your event page on Facebook. You know, not keep sending out posts about I've got tickets. There should be a live video on there. There should be a video of the venue that explains what people are going to get and what their services and what their money's going to pay for in terms of on the day. It doesn't have to be professional. It can be you and an iPhone. You could use Snapchat, actually. It's quite good as an editing tool. You can edit bits of stuff together and then post it, save it and then post it. But you could do a video of the venue, a video of your stall holders at a different event, so you can show people what it is they're going to get. So all those things can matter, but I think it's about engagement content, and just doing text posts doesn't work anymore because people want to be engaged when they're doing any kind of Facebook surfing now. They make a very quick decision. In terms of giving you an idea, the average Facebook video is watched for 9 seconds. So you might do a video that's a minute and a half long and you think it's brilliant because you've got loads of views, it looks fantastic. If you went in there, the actual insight software that's at the back, and again we do this in some of our courses to show you, the average level of engagement is 9 seconds. So unless you've got them in the first 9 seconds, they're just going to switch off. And if you imagine when you're reading statuses and you're looking at photographs, it's fine because it's always there and it's important, but actually it should come as a secondary to an initial engagement video always. Is behind the scenes effective to allow customers to get closer to you? Do you mean in terms of telling them about behind the scenes or videoing it? Most definitely. Definitely. Showing people what goes through that process, showing people why it's so important. It's particularly engaging for people. They feel like they're part of your process. People like to be involved. They're going to make a purchase, they're going to make a decision based on, do they feel an affinity with you, with what it is you're trying to achieve? And you can do that by short video bursts, 30 seconds, a minute maybe. If it's a particularly complex topic that people have paid to watch, it could be longer. But it's normally around 30 seconds to a minute. And it has to be engaged in the first 10 seconds. I think that might be nearly me done, because I'm just conscious that even I can't listen to myself for that long. So I've done 35 minutes, my God. Is there anything else before I go, ladies? And has that been helpful? Can you let me know at the bottom if I've been helpful? I hope I have. If you do want to get in contact with me, my mobile number is 07872 495 820, and the website is theconsultcentre.com, and my email address is ruth@theconsultcentre.com. So if you are interested in attending any of the events, free, paid or whatever, I don't mind. I'd love to meet you all. Come down and see us. The Lancaster and Morecambe Ladies Mean Business is also going to start to be hosted at my offices in Morecambe, so hopefully I'll get to meet you all there. Come and see if you can do some of these free courses. Come and see if you can do some paid courses, even better. But regardless, get in contact with me. I would love to help you. Private clients I can see, obviously. CBT therapy we can also do, but without getting to a sales pitch. If you think it's been useful, let me know. And if there's anything else you'd like me to say or do for you at a later live date, then pop Rachel a note, and I'm more than happy to come on again. That's it now. I'm actually going to go and finish this brew, and I'm actually going to go and have a cigarette that you're not supposed to admit to doing anymore. Thank you, Madeline. That's very nice. Oh, Karen, hello. You can watch it back on the replay. So Tina, Karen, Madeline, I'm trying to think who else is on. Danielle's been on. Lucy's been on. Trying to think who else there was. CBT. I'm never going to leave. Ah, well. Brilliant CBT. It's a brilliant thing. So, do some priority. Do some planning. Get yourself some focus. Focus, by the way, is follow one course until success. If you can't focus, that might be a problem. Get yourself a little timer. Look like a bit of a knob, but it works. Don't take yourself too seriously. Enjoy what you do, but stick at it. And don't ask your mum for her opinion. She's probably going to give you the wrong answer. Right, I'm now off. It was a pleasure to see you all, and no doubt I shall hope to speak to you all soon. Bye then.